So let me share my screen. All right. So today we are going to be going over control flows in Python. So can you also see my screen? Okay, thank you. So basically the first control flow in Python is called an if statement. And basically what an if statement is we say like if some condition, if this condition here is true, then we do this. And then else, so if this condition is not true, we do this. Right, so everyone type, this is called a syntax right here. So whenever you are just typing how something works without the code, it's called a syntax. So everyone type the syntax for an if statement in the chat. So basically the first step is to write if condition and then a colon, and then you hit enter and then tab and then do this. Actually, it might not work in Zoom, but essentially when in an if statement, you start with your condition and then in the next line you hit tab. So you need to make an indentation, right? So tab, and then you write your code. So like, for example, like let's say we want to see if 6 is greater than 5. So if 6 is greater than 5, we'll just print 6 is greater than 5. Right, so now if we run this, oh, sorry, let's see. Oh, sorry, there's no parentheses. So if 6 is greater than 5, now it should work. What?
You put the if, you put the I capitalized.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. Yeah, you're right. So see now, since this I is orange, we know that it's like a word that's being recognized by Python. Thank you to Abhiram. So now if we do it, we can see it says true. Huh? Right? So we can say 6 is greater than 5. Right? So like now if we switch this, right? If we say 6 is less than 5, like this won't work. Right? So since this condition is false, the Python program skips past whatever is indented and then just goes here. So like we can say print this is not indented. Right, so now like since 6 is not less than 5, Python skips past this and skips to the next line that is not indented. Does that make sense? So like let's say like we want to do like if this condition is false, if the condition is true, we want to do this, but if the condition is false, we want to do something else. So in that case, we would type else colon, and then we would just print something. So like we can say 6 is less than 5. So Control S, F5. So since 6 is less than 5, it skips past this line and goes to the else where it says 6 is less than 5. And then after the if statement is complete, it goes to the line that's not indented, which is why this line gets printed out. Does that make sense? Nice job to everyone in the chat who typed out the if statement. So like one good example is if you live in the United States, the voting age is 18. So we can say voting age equals 18. And if you are older than 18, you're allowed to vote. So the way we would do that in an if statement is we would type if voting age is greater than or equal to 18, we can print out you are eligible to vote, and then else you will need to wait till you are 18 to vote. And then if we run this, you are eligible to vote. But then now, like, let's say if we say I'm 16, right? So if we run this now, I will have to wait till I'm 18 to vote. Does that make sense? So everyone, just type in any if statement that uses numbers in a variable in the chat. And I'll give you a minute or two. So bulk it, that's a good start. So you set your variable, but you need to put your if statement. So
I entered by mistake.
yeah, no worries. So Alan, just remember that you have to indent the first line. So if you want to print you are not a teen, if the age is less than or equal to 12, you have to put an indent before the print statement. both of them. Does that make sense? Okay, nice job otherwise. I'll give you a few more minutes. Nice job, Harshini.
Thank you.
Nice job. Ava, nice job. So Kushi, you need to put like what do you want to do if the age is greater than 18? You just need to write that.
Yeah, sorry, I accidentally pressed enter.
No worries, no worries. And then Sahasra, you just need to make sure you indent the code inside the if statement. And then nice job, Pranav. Nice job, Abhiram. Nice job, Pulkit. So yeah. So it seems a lot of you guys are already familiar with input. So we'll quickly go over that. So basically, like let's say, like when you're creating an application, you need to interact with the user of the application, right? Like let's say, like the user is logging into the application, so they will need to input their username and then their password into the application. So the way you take input in Python is you define your variable and then you type input and then you type your prompt. So like let's say we can just say, what is your age? Right? And then we would put a space here, then we would close the parentheses. And then now when we run the program, so now if we run the program, we can see the program is asking what is my age. So my age is 16. And oh yeah, so the default when like right now we type 16, right? So by default, this input treats this as a string, but since we want an integer, we would just type int. Sorry?
Can you please zoom in a little bit?
Okay. Okay. Is this better?
Yes.
Okay. So since that by default the input function treats input as a string, you need to put int in front of it if you want to take a number. So if we try it again, it asks what is my age? I'm 16. So now it says you'll need to wait till you're 18 to vote. And then if we run it again and I type I'm 20, it says you are eligible to vote. Does that make sense? So for those that didn't already, change your original program to include input. I'll give you guys a minute or two. Nice job, Abhiram. Nice job, Ava. Nice job, Pranav. Nice job, Kushi. Yeah, so basically, like instead of just typing your age in the program, you replace it with the input function. Yeah, nice job, Harshini. So that's basically how the if statement works. So then like there's one more sort like dimension you can add. Like let's say you want two conditions, right? So let's say we want to also check if the user is able to drive. So in the US, in order to get a driver's license, you need to be 16 years old. So elif age is greater than or equal to 16. We can say print you cannot vote, but you can drive. And then now if we run it, like I can type my age, so 16. It says, you cannot vote, but you can drive. Does that make sense? So now include an elif statement inside of your program. So basically, whenever you want to have more than one condition, you use elif. So you start with if, and then you go elif, and then if you want to have an else statement, you can have an else statement. But basically, elif and else are optional. You don't need to put both of them for the program to work. Nice job, Kushi. Nice job, Alan. Yeah, so basically, yeah. So basically, as a review, in an if elif else statement, you start with your if, then your condition, and then you put like whatever code you need, whatever code you want to run, then your elif, and then your condition, and then whatever code you need to run. And then you can have as many elifs as you want. So I could put 100 different elif statements. But you can also get away with not having any elif statements. And then finally, you put your else statement and then what you want to run. So if there are not any questions, we will continue. Nice job, Pranav. Nice job, Ava. Nice job, Harshini. Yeah, so one more thing. Now we're going to talk about Boolean variables. So essentially, any variable that contains a value that is true or false is a Boolean. So like if I say A equals true, that means A is a Boolean. If I say B equals false, B is a Boolean. But then we can also put, like you see how we put conditions here? We can assign the result of a condition to a variable. So like we can say, if we'll keep this. So if we say, grade equals 90, right? Then we can say, do I have an A? Like this is our variable, and we can say equals grade is greater than or equal to 90. And if I print, do I have an A? Let's see. So now if I run this, it says true, right? So since we assigned the value 90 to the variable grade, and then we made a variable, inside the variable we checked if grade is greater than or equal to 90, and if grade is greater than or equal to 90, the value true is assigned to this variable. Does that make sense? So we can do the same thing with false, right? If my grade is a 70 and then I run it, it'll say false, right? Because a 70 is not an A, but a 90 is an A. So everyone create a variable and assign a condition to it. So everyone create a Boolean variable where you're assigning, like after the equal sign, you're putting a condition. And type it in the chat. And if there are any questions, please send me a message in the chat or speak up.
Excuse me,
Yeah, go ahead.
when I didn't quite understand one thing.
Yeah. What's your question?
When you write, do I have an A equals greater or equal 90? And when you print that, it tells true or false. But then right now above, I don't see a single if or else condition in the what do we say, related to the grade, like.
Yeah, so that's a good question. So there's so is your question like, why don't we need an if or else statement to do this?
Yeah, because in you told that if and else will mostly reply by true or false, and
Yeah.
it's written true or false.
Yeah, so essentially the way if or else statement works is if something is true, then it does something, right? That's the point of an if or else statement. But when we're doing this, we just want to store the value. So like now I could even go if do I have an A, right? Since we know this is true or false, we can type this variable here, and then we can say print. If this variable is true, we can just print I have an A. And then else, if this variable is false, then we can print I do not have an A. And then if we run this, you can see since my grade is 70, grade is not greater than or equal to 90, do I have an A becomes false. And then since this condition is false, this line of code is skipped and this line of code is ran. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, that's a great question though.
And I have another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I even tried doing it on the program, but then I'm not able to get one single program because it only answers to one question at a time for me.
Would you like to share your screen?
Sure.
Okay, let me enable it for you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Nice job, Kushi. Nice job, Pranav. Nice job, Harshini. Nice job, Alan. Nice job. Yeah, nice job to everyone who typed it in the chat.
So like over here, wait a second. Let me just do full screen. Yes. So over here, example, if I write
Oh, I see. So what I did is I created a Python file. So see the option file at the top of the screen?
file.
Yes, click on that and then click new file. And then it would have created a new window. And there is where you should type your code.
So I keep it here and then type over here. But
Yeah.
I run it once I do it.
So then after that, there, let me see what it looks like on my computer.
Now where should I do?
So in order to run it, have you opened a new Python file?
Yeah.
So at the top of the screen, there should be an option called run. So actually we can't see the Python file that you created.
I found it.
Stop screening me from the
So try sharing your entire screen, not just your Python screen.
Okay. Can you see?
Yes, now we can see it. So see at the top, it says run,
Yes.
and then push run module. And then say okay. And then just save it anywhere.
Okay.
Just type a name for the file. So no, you don't want to do type hello world as your file name.
Okay.
Yeah. And then now go back and run it.
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
So
Does that make
from
sense?
now on, I should keep all the code over here.
Yes. So keep, and this is for everyone, whenever you're writing code, you want to make a new file and then run it from there.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions before we move on?
No question.
Okay. Nice job, Chan, and nice job, Abiram. Okay, we'll continue now. So where were we? Yeah, so basically, you don't have to use an if or else statement to create a conditional, right? You can just do a variable, then equal sign, and then any condition, and then that will create a Boolean variable that has a value of true or false that you can use later on. So now, I think most of you already have a good understanding of it, but we will go over comparison operators. So the 6 comparison operators in Python are less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, equals to, and then not equals to. So we will do, so like basically we can do print 6 is less than 5, right? This is true, or this is false. And then print 6 is greater than or equal to 5, or sorry, print 6 is less than or equal to 5. And this is also false. And then we can do print 6 is greater than 5. And this is true. And then print 6 is greater than or equal to 5. This is true. And then these last two are this one right here, equals to. We do, it's easy to get confused between equals to, and then just equals to. So essentially, if we do print 6 is equals to 5, this is false. And then the last one is obviously 6 is not equal to 5. and this is true. But the difference between putting 2 equal signs and 1 equal signs is 2 equal signs means we're comparing two things. And 1 equal signs means we're assigning a value to another thing. So it's important not to get mixed up between these two. But if we run this now, we can see 6 is not less than 5, which is why this is false. And then 6 is not less than or equal to 5, which is why this is false. And then 6 is greater than 5, which is why this is true. 6 is greater than or equal to 5, which is why the fourth line is true. And 6 is not equal to 5, which is why this is false. And then 6 is not equal to 5, which is why this is true. So does that make any sense? So everyone quickly, just in the chat, pick any one of these 6 operators and then write a line of code using it. Write a print statement using it and put it in the chat. And also type the result of the print statement. So nice
I
job,
have another
Pulkit.
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why did you keep hashtag after the questions, like hashtag false, hashtag true?
Yeah, so this is whenever you put a hashtag in Python, it makes it a comment. So that means this code is not being run. So like even if I remove all of this, if I remove these things, like see, we have all this code here, but since it's behind the hashtag, it's not being run. Does that make sense? Because it's a comment.
Yes.
Okay, good question. All right, nice job, Pranav. Nice job, Sasra. Nice job, Eva. Nice job, Harshini. Nice job, Alan. Yeah. So these are the 6 conditional operators in Python. So then right now we've only used this to talk about numbers. You can also do it to talk about or to compare like strings. So like for example, let's say we have let's say the password for my application is Apple. Like that's my password. And then we can say if password equals to Apple, we can say print the password is correct. Then we can do else print try again. Now if we run this, since I typed Apple here, the password is correct. But then if I type like banana, it says try again. So then we can even do this with input, right? So we can do password equals input, type in your password. And run this. So again, we'll say banana. It says try again. But if we run it again and say Apple, it says the password is correct. So everyone try creating a similar program with your own password and your own messages and type in the chat. Okay, nice job, Pranav. Yeah. Just make sure, Pranav, not to put a space between input and the parentheses. And same, don't put in a parentheses between the print and the parentheses. Or don't put a space between the print and the parentheses. But other than that, nice job. Okay. Nice job, Abiram. Nice job, Kushi. Nice job, Pulkit. Nice job, Alan. Yeah. So, and like we can do the same thing with not equals, right? If the password does not equal Apple, then that is the wrong password. And then if the password is not equal to Apple, we can type that is the correct password. And if we run this, and I type in Apple, it'll say that that's the correct password. But if I type in banana, it'll say that is the wrong password. And then also, if we go back to the equals, actually, we'll just so if we go back to equals, this needs to be case sensitive, right? So if I just type in Apple without a capital A, it won't work. But then if I type in Apple with a capital A, it will work. So that's something you need to be careful of. Like this string and this string need to be the exact same from start to finish, including capitalization. Nice job, Ava. Nice job, Harshini. Nice job, Chan. So if there aren't any questions about this, we will continue. All right. So now let's talk about and or. So like, let's say we want to have two conditions at the same time. So again, if we're doing age, int input, what is your age? And then like, let's say I want to check if someone is a teenager. Then I could do if age is greater than or equal to 13 and age is less than or equal to 19, we can print out you are a teenager. And then else we can print out you are not a teenager. So then if we run this, it says, what is your age? I type in 16. And then it says you are a teenager, right? Because the age 16 is greater than 16 and 16 is less than or equal to 19. So now everyone type in like a similar program using the and statement into the chat. Okay, nice job. Harshini, nice job. Alan. Nice job, Pranav. Nice job, Chen. Okay. So yeah, it seems you guys all understand the or the and thing. So we'll go over or now. Oops. Sorry, 1 second. So like, if we want to check if someone isn't a teenager, right? We can say if age is less than or equal, or is less than 13, and or sorry. So if age is less than 13 or age is greater than 19, we can say you are not a teenager, and else you are a teenager, right? So or works if either of these two conditions are true, right? If this one's true and this one is false, this entire thing will be true. If this one is false and this one is true, the entire thing will be true. If both of these are false, then only this will be the case. So we'll look at all of those cases now. So like, let's say I'm less than 13 years old, right? I'm 5 years old. That means I'm not a teenager, right? So age is less than 13, but age is not greater than 19. But since we're using or, it works. Or actually, here's a better way to demonstrate it. So less than 13 equals age. Then if we print out both of these, so if my age is 5, we can see that my age is less than 13, but more than 19. So like we have a true here and a false here, but since we're using or, this entire thing is true, which is why this statement was printed. And then if we do F5, and I say my age is 16, we have this is false and this is false, which means the entire or statement is false, which means this is outputted. And then if I run it again and I say my age is 90, this is false, but this is true, which means since we have one true thing, it means this entire thing is true, which means this is printed out. So nice job, Abhiram. Nice job, Pulkit. Are there any questions about this? All right. So we'll quickly review and or. So and we'll say print. We'll say A equals true and B equals false. So let's start by printing out. We'll start with true and true. We'll start with true and true. So we'll start with printing out A and B. So if we run this F5. So since both of these are true, this is true. I'll go to the next case. If A is true and B is false, this is false. If A is false and B is true, this is false. And if A is false and B is false, then this is false. So we can see there's only one condition in which A and B works, and that's when A and B are both true. Now, if we do the same thing for or, If we run A is false and B is false, A or B is false. And then if B is true, we have true. If A is true and B is false, we have true. And then if A and B are both true, we have true. So or and are opposites. Or is false when in only one condition, when both of them are true, or when both, if A and B are both false, that's the only time A or B are false, is false. Does that make sense? Any questions? Okay, so now I will give you guys a small quiz before we move on to the next thing. So question 1 asks, will hello world be printed? And then same with question 2, is hello world going to be printed? And question 3 asks, in order for someone to sign a contract, they must be at least 18 years old. How would this be expressed in Python? So for 1 and 2, just answer yes and no, and then for 3, answer A, B, C, or D, and put it in the chat. In one message, and send it to me directly, please. I'll give you guys a few minutes before we continue. So remember, for number 3, the person must be at least 18 years old. So be careful for number 3. What does at least mean? Nice job, Harshini. Nice job, Sahasra. Those are the only 2 people that have gotten it so far. A lot of you guys are close though. Keep on going. Nice job, Chan. Nice job, Abhiram. Nice job, Pranav. Okay, so the answer for number 1 is no. So the answer to number 2 is yes. The answer for number 3 is C. So does anyone want to explain why number 1 is no? Out loud. Sorry?
Something can be true and false.
Yes. Yes, that's correct. So since we have true and false, this is going to be false, because in order for something with and to be true, both statements need to be true. Pranav, I'm not sure I understand your question. Could you elaborate? Okay. Okay, For number 2, does anyone want to
In-
explain their answer?
In all, in all, 2 can be printed.
Yes. And why is that?
In all, if anything is true, it can be printed.
Yes, that's correct. So if either things are true for an OR statement, then the result is true. And then Abiram, do you want to explain number 3?
Sure. So for number 3, the answer is C because um okay, so for number C, age is greater than or equal to 18 because at least means that it can either be equal to 18 or greater than. So let's have C with the correct answer.
Okay, yeah. So essentially, the reason A is wrong is because this excludes the condition or the possibility where someone is 18 years old. So since 18 is not greater than 18, A is false. A is not the right answer. It excludes a condition. And then we want people to be older than 18 years old. We want the age to be greater than 18, which is why both B and C are wrong. Or sorry, which is why B and D are wrong. And then that leaves C. And the reason C is correct because we want someone to be at least 18, which means 18 and above. So are there any questions on the quiz? Okay, so now just as a final like little review project for today, everyone create a program that takes input, uses and or and 3 uses else, if, and if. So I'll give you guys like 5-6 minutes to type in your programs, and then we will be done for today. Nice job, Harshini. And feel free to put it in the everyone chat. So if anyone's struggling, they can see an example. Harshini, just make sure you push enter for your elif statement. But other than that, nice job. Nice job, Chan. Nice job, Pulkit. Nice job, Abiram. Nice job, Kushi. I'll give you guys a few more minutes, and then we will conclude today's meeting. And if I've already checked off your program, feel free to leave. Nice job, Eva.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, have a good day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Eva. Nice job, Pranav. Have a good day. So Sahasra, that's you just need to make sure you like the else and the elif need to be on the same indentation level as the if statement. And then for your input, since you are asking for a number, you need to put let me type in the chat. You need to put int around your input. So like what it would look like for you is x equals int input. How old are you? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, but otherwise, nice job.
Okay. So can I leave now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
Have a
bye.
good night. Bye-bye.